Hello everyone, my name is Anne and today I'm going to make a carpaccio of octopus, and I'm going to serve that with a squid ink arancini that's been stuffed with some cooked octopus. And that's all part of the Interreg sponsored project called Chefs and Chefs. So we're going to start with our octopus. And the first thing we need to do with the octopus is to remove the beak. It's really inedible. So the beak is gone. And before we started, I washed and rinsed that octopus several times. And as I washed it, I squeezed all the little tentacles to make sure that all the sand has come out of the octopus. So the octopus has 8 legs. So start at one end and count 1. And make sure all the sand is gone, and then count 2, all the time dipping it into cold water. And then over here, I have boiling water on. So I'm going to go the Galician way, and we're going to pop the octopus into the boiling water, count for 10 seconds, and take it out into the boiling water. Take it out, and then plunge it into the ice cold water. And that cleans it some more. It makes the arms curl up, and it also kind of sets the colour. So we do that 3 times for 10 seconds each time. Take it out into ice cold water. Now the cooking liquor for that octopus I have on. So we'll take it off. For that octopus is made up of orange, lemon, bay leaf, thyme, and about half a bottle of wine to make the octopus drunk, and some water. And then you bring all of that to boil. And the idea is there's lovely aromats and there's lovely flavour in the cooking liquor. And then I take my blanched octopus and I pop them in here into the water, and I leave them to simmer for about 45 minutes. It's a 1 kg octopus. So it's a 1 kg octopus, and it'll take about 45 minutes in nice, gentle simmering water. And the orange and the lemon just really adds really nice flavour to the octopus. It's naturally sweet anyway. After the 45 minutes, we take out the octopus. Its legs have curled up some more. And what we want to do to make the carpaccio is we need to cut off the 8 arms. And it's important not to let the octopus get overcooked. It is nice and tender. So after the 45 minutes, you take it out. We cut off our tentacles. Then I need to get a length of cling film. And you need to do this while the octopus is warm. So get nice long length of cling film. And let it overlap slightly. And then take the arms and put them head to toe along here. So I have 6 arms of the octopus here, and then I lift this up, and then with my fingers I secure that, rolling it nice and tightly while it's nice and warm in the cling film. So what I want to do is to make a nice long cylinder, and you really need quite a length of cling film. And then you bring it back towards yourself. You roll it a couple of times. So you see it's getting nice and tight and compact. And the octopus by nature is actually very gelatinous. So when that cools, it sets and it holds the shape. So tie a knot either end. Get rid of your excess. And what we do with that then is put that into the freezer. You need to leave it to freeze overnight, and it sets then in the freezer like a solid mass. So I'm going to take this one, pop it in the freezer, and this one then we're going to work with in a couple of minutes. So we're going to make the next part of the dish, which is the squid ink risotto. So I have some nice arborio rice, which is short grain rice, and it absorbs just enough stock to retain its texture without actually turning into a rice pudding. And for extra flavour then I'm adding fine dice of onion. Very important that the onion is the same size as the rice, because we don't want big lumps of onion in our risotto. And then for added flavour I also have some finely diced fennel. So to start with, we take some rapeseed oil in a sauté pan and let it heat up. And then we're going to sweat the onions and the fennel until they're just very lightly caramelised. So we're going to take the onion and the fennel. Hear the little sizzle. Onion, fennel, sweat away there, and it's going to lightly caramelise and develop its flavour. Very important that the arborio rice is washed, because it has excess starch and it'll make it too sticky and too stodgy. So I have it washed in advance. We're just going to let the onions and the fennel sweat. And the key ingredient in that recipe then is the squid ink. So if I was in Galicia, they would have their own squid ink fresh from the squid. Here, a lot of times in Ireland what happens is the squid ink is already removed by the fishermen before it comes ashore. So this product is squid ink and it's already pasteurised. So we let our onions sweat. And the secret to making a risotto then is to add in the liquid gradually. So the shallots have just caramelised, and we're going to add in a knob of butter. Let the butter melt. The arborio rice. Mix it well in so that it gets coated with all the butter. And give it 2-3 minutes just to lightly coat itself in the butter. Now we're going to add the squid ink. Mix it well in. And that's what adds the black colour to our risotto. When we make risotto, you add in liquid slowly and gradually. So we'll add in a ladle of wine. And the secret to making a good risotto is to let that wine completely be absorbed by the rice. And once it's absorbed by the rice, then we'll start adding in our chicken stock. So we'll just leave that to simmer nice and slowly until all the water, all the wine evaporates, and then we'll start adding in our chicken stock. And in total, it'll take about 10-15 minutes for that risotto to cook. So we'll just leave it simmer gently there. So the next job then is to add in a ladle of chicken stock. One ladle at a time, mix it with the rice, and then let it cook nice and slowly until that chicken stock is absorbed. And we keep on doing that until our 400 ml of chicken stock is completely absorbed into the risotto. And when we've that done, we're then going to finish it with some fresh parmesan. And the parmesan, I suppose, adds a lovely umami flavour to it, but it also helps to bind the risotto. And for arancini, it's important that the risotto is relatively stiff, and it's the parmesan that actually helps you to get the rice to stiffen up. So I have one made in advance, because to make the arancini, the risotto needs to be cold, and the squid ink is black in colour, so you need to wear gloves. We've all our stock added into the risotto, and into that I've added 30 grams of finely grated parmesan, and we mix that nice and quickly until the parmesan melts. And we take it off the heat. There's a lovely smell of wine and seafood coming off that risotto. So you can see it's nice and soft and moist. But for arancini, I need that to be stiff and cold. So this is one that I have made earlier, and you see it's easier to work with in that it's nice and solid and stiff. So for the arancini, I want to pan it. So to pan it, in culinary terms, we need seasoned flour, and in that flour I've added smoked paprika just to keep, I suppose, that Spanish type flavour. So there's nice smoked paprika in the flour with some sea salt, and then I have egg wash, which is just beaten egg and some milk, and then I have some panko breadcrumbs. And then I have the smaller pieces of the cooked octopus that we cooked earlier. I've kept the smaller arms down towards the very bottom of the octopus. And I have my chilled risotto Nero, or my black squid risotto, whichever you want to call it. So you need to dampen your hands and use the plastic glove, and then you won't get any mess. And take about a golf ball size of the rice, and then make a well with your thumb in the middle, and take a small little piece of our cooked octopus and pop it in there, and then close it over on itself and make a nice little round, no bigger than a golf ball. Okay, and the beauty of having your hands wet allows you to work with that much better than if you didn't have the gloves and the wet hand. Okay, so that's our arancini. And then we want to coat it. So to help it to the breadcrumbs to stick, we take the arancini and we pop it in here into our seasoned flour. Very important to knock off all the excess flour so it doesn't taste of flour, just has a little hint of it. And then it has the nice flavour from the smoked paprika. And then we pop that into the egg wash. And then you keep this hand dry, this one wet. And you pick up all the arancinis, drop off all the excess egg wash in your hand, and then pop it in here. And then with your dry hand, coat it in the breadcrumbs. So we have our arancini, and we're going to leave that to one side for the minute, and we'll come back and we'll deep fry it. We have our frozen carpaccio. So we need to take some of the cling film off of that. So just take off as much cling film as you think you need. And then I'm going to straighten it up for the slicer. And I suppose for arancini, you could slice it with a knife, but if you're in a professional kitchen like I have access to the meat slicer, and it just gives me nice even slices. But you could certainly slice it with the knife. So we have very thinly sliced the carpaccio, and you have this lovely natural shape and the lovely pink colour from the octopus, and there's a really nice flavour there thanks to the lemon and the orange. So we're going to leave that, and then to garnish it we have orange segments, some lime segments, and I have verbena oil. So verbena is a lovely citrus herb, looks a bit like mint except that it's more woody. And to make any oil, what you do is you take the herb, you put it into boiling water for a couple of seconds, and then you plunge it into ice cold water, and we put it in a food processor with some rapeseed oil and let the chlorophyll and the natural green come out of the herb. And as well as the colour that comes out of that oil, we have this really delicate citrus flavour in the verbena oil. I have some pickled blackberries from East Galway, and they're just finished in season now, coming towards the end of October, and they are simply put into a white wine vinegar, and they hold and they just add a lovely sweetness to this particular dish. And then to finish it, I'm going to put a small bit of orange zest over the plate. So I suppose we need to come back to our arancini and pop that in the deep fat fryer. And it'll take about 3 or 4 minutes. Very important that the center of it is warm, so it has to reach about 70 degrees Celsius because it's a reheated dish. So pop in the arancini and gently place it down in the oil and wait until it's golden brown. And it'll take about 3 or 4 minutes in the hot oil, and we just want to cook until it's golden brown. So we'll lift it out, put it on the kitchen paper to drain. So we're just about ready to finish our arancini with our carpaccio of octopus. So the octopus is nice and thinly sliced. We're going to take the arancini and cut it in half. Nice and carefully. And if some of the squid ink is popping over the octopus, just give it a slight wipe so that you can see the nice white of the octopus. Reshape the arancini, and we're going to pop one arancini onto the center of the plate, and then we're going to take some pieces of lime, 3 little pieces. I'll put them over here, and then on top of the lime, we're going to put little quarters of orange. And because those are in vinegar, we need to pop them on the kitchen paper, drain off the excess vinegar, pop it up and put it on the corner. So we have little fennel seeds, and the little yellow is lovely because it's full of pollen. So we're going to add in some of the fennel flowers. On each garnish. And then we're going to finish it with some lemon gel. So the lemon gel is simply lemon and some saffron. And the benefit of the saffron is that it makes the gel lovely and yellow in colour. And we'll finish it then with our verbena oil. Tiny little drizzle around the plate. And then to finish it, I'm going to put a light coating of orange zest. And folks, that is carpaccio of octopus with a squid ink arancini stuffed with some more octopus. So hopefully you'll practice that, and thank you very much for watching.